Do you know what the difference is between people who truly evolve in life and those who remain stuck in the same place year after year? It's not intelligence. It's not luck. It's not connections. It's not money. It's something much simpler and much deeper than any of those things. And when I discovered this, when I truly understood it, it was as if someone had lifted a blindfold from my eyes. Suddenly everything made sense. Why I was stuck. Why I was sabotaging myself. Why I had so much potential, but so little progress. There's something I've noticed observing people around me. 90% of them are living the same life they lived 5 years ago. Same problems, same complaints, same destructive patterns. They say they want to change. They talk about dreams, goals, plans, but nothing changes. Absolutely nothing. And it's not because they don't try. They do try. They start going to the gym and quit. They start projects and abandon them. They make promises to themselves and break them. It's an endless cycle of intention without real transformation. And that's how I was. Completely like that. I had clear goals. I knew exactly what I needed to do. I read books about productivity, about discipline, about a winning mindset. I got excited, motivated, created detailed plans, and then nothing. A week later, I was back to the same patterns, same procrastination, same lack of consistency, same comfortable mediocrity that I said I hated, but that secretly clung to me. Until one day, talking to a guy who had truly transformed his life, who had risen from rock bottom and built something impressive, I asked him, "Dude, what's the secret? How did you do it?" And he laughed and said something that at the time seemed disappointingly simple to me. He said, "There's no secret. I just stopped lying to myself." And I was like, "What?" And he explained. And man, that destroyed me and set me free at the same time. Because he was right. And that's exactly what I was doing. And it's probably exactly what you're doing now. The simple truth that 90% of people don't understand, the truth that keeps them trapped, is this. You're not trapped because circumstances are difficult. You're not trapped because you don't know what to do. You're not trapped because you lack opportunity. You're trapped because you don't want to pay the price of change, and you lie to yourself about it every day. Let me explain this better because it's so profound. You say you want to lose weight, but you don't. What you want are the results of losing weight without having to give up your eating habits. You want a fit body without feeling hungry, without having to refuse dessert, without having to exercise when you're tired, so you don't really want to lose weight. You want the fantasy of losing weight effortlessly. You say you want financial success, but you don't. What you want is money without having to work longer hours, without having to leave your comfort zone, without having to take risks, without having to learn new things that are difficult at first. You want to win the lottery, not build wealth through consistent effort, so you don't want success. You want a miracle. You say you want better relationships, but you don't. Because better relationships require you to be vulnerable, to communicate honestly even when it's uncomfortable, to change toxic behaviors you've carried for years. And you don't want to do that. You want people to simply accept you as you are and magically treat you better. See the pattern? The lie you tell yourself is that you want change. But what you really want are the benefits of change without the cost of change. And since that's impossible, you get stuck. Making excuses, blaming circumstances, waiting for the right moment that never comes, because deep down, you chose comfort over growth. And this choice isn't conscious. You don't wake up in the morning and think, "Today, I'm going to deliberately sabotage myself." It doesn't work like that. It works through 1,000 small decisions that seem insignificant but collectively define your entire life. You choose to hit snooze instead of getting up to exercise. You choose to watch one more episode instead of working on your project. You choose to avoid that difficult conversation. You choose to eat what you know you shouldn't. Each choice individually seems small, but together they create a lifetime of wasted potential. And the most insidious part of all this is that you convince yourself that you're trying. You read books, you watch motivational videos, you make plans, you tell your friends about your goals. And this gives you a sense of progress without real progress. You confuse intention with action. You confuse knowledge with application. You confuse wanting with doing. Let me tell you the exact moment this became clear to me. I was in my 3rd year of school saying I was going to start waking up early to be more productive. 3rd year. I had read about the benefits. I knew that waking up at 5 in the morning would give me more time, more focus, more control. I had bought a new alarm clock. I had planned my perfect morning routine. I had told people I was going to do it. And every night I set the alarm with conviction. Tomorrow, I'll do it. Tomorrow, I'll really start. And every morning when the alarm went off, I hit snooze. And I made excuses. I slept badly last night. It's too cold. I need to be rested to work well. I'll start on Monday. And this lie went on and on. Until one day I stopped and was brutally honest with myself. I didn't want to wake up early. Period. I wanted the benefits of waking up early, but I didn't want the discomfort of getting out of bed when it's warm, of facing sleepiness, of breaking a pattern of years. I was lying to myself saying I wanted it when in reality I wanted my comfort zone more. And when I accepted that truth, when I stopped deceiving myself, something changed, because then I had a real choice ahead of me. Either I accepted that I was choosing comfort and stopped complaining about not having time and productivity, or I truly decided to pay the price and wake up no matter what. No excuses, no negotiation, no lies. And that's what I did. I truly decided. And the next day, when the alarm went off and every fiber of my being wanted to hit snooze, I got up. Because I had stopped lying. I had accepted that either I paid the price or I gave up on the goal. And I chose to pay. And this principle applies to absolutely everything in life. Do you want muscles? You have to pay the price of lifting weights until it hurts, of eating protein even when you're not hungry, of training when you're exhausted. Do you want a successful business? You have to pay the price of working when others are resting, of risking your money and time, of failing and starting over multiple times. Do you want a deep relationship? You have to pay the price of being vulnerable, of having difficult conversations, of working on yourself. Every goal has a price. It always does. And there's no way to cheat. There's no way to skip steps. There are no secret shortcuts. You pay the price or you don't get the result. It's that simple. And the reason why 90% of people are stuck is because they don't accept this. They want results without a price. They want transformation without discomfort. They want success without sacrifice. And so they get stuck in this horrible limbo between intention and action. They know what they should do, but they don't. And they carry this guilt, this frustration, this feeling of wasting their lives, because deep down, they know they are sabotaging themselves. They know they are choosing temporary comfort instead of real growth. But they won't admit it to themselves. So here's what you need to do. Stop lying. Be brutally honest about what you really want. Not what you think you should want. Not what sounds good when you tell others. What you truly want based on how you act, not how you talk. If you say you want to lose weight but aren't willing to change your eating habits and exercise consistently, you don't want to lose weight. You want to fantasize about being thin. Accept that. And either you change your willingness to pay the price or you stop complaining about your weight. If you say you want success but aren't willing to make sacrifices, work harder, constantly learn or take risks, you don't want success. You want to imagine what it would be like to be successful. Accept that. And either you decide to pay the price or you stop feeling frustrated by not getting results. This brutal honesty is liberating because it eliminates the cognitive dissonance between what you say and what you do. You stop living in denial. And when you stop lying to yourself, you can make a real, conscious choice. And there are two options. First option, you honestly accept that you don't want to pay the price and make peace with it. You say, okay, I prefer my current comfort to the results I said I wanted. And that's okay. You stop feeling guilty, you stop fantasizing, you stop creating plans you won't follow, you simply accept your choice and live in peace with it. Second option, you decide to truly pay the price. No, half-heartedly. Not when you feel like it. Not when it's convenient. You decide you're going to do what needs to be done no matter how you feel. No matter if it's difficult, no matter if it's uncomfortable. You've made a commitment, so you do it. And when you truly make that second choice, everything changes. Because you're no longer negotiating with yourself. You're no longer making excuses. You know the price, you agreed to pay it, so you pay it. Waking up early is difficult? Pay the price. Training is tiring? Pay the price. Working on the project is boring today? Pay the price. A difficult conversation scares you? Pay the price. And as you consistently pay the price, something interesting happens. It gets easier. Not because the price decreases, but because you become stronger. Your character develops. Your discipline increases. Your self-image improves. You become someone who does what needs to be done. And that identity carries you when motivation runs out. But most people never get to that point because they never make the real choice. They get stuck in the middle ground. They say they want it but don't pay the price. They make endless excuses. They blame circumstances. They wait for the perfect moment. And years go by without real change. So here's the straightforward challenge for you. Choose an area of your life where you say you want change but aren't seeing results. It could be health, career, relationships, finances, anything. And be brutally honest. What is the price of that change? What do you really need to do consistently? And are you willing to pay that price? If the answer is no, accept it. Stop pretending. Stop creating unnecessary guilt. You chose your current comfort, and that's okay. Live in peace with that choice. If the answer is yes, then prove it. Not with words, not with plans, with action. Today, now. What is the next specific action you need to take to pay the price for this change? Do it. And do it again tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow again. No excuses, no negotiation, no lies. Because that's the simple truth that 90% of people don't understand. Change doesn't happen through motivation. It doesn't happen through knowledge. It doesn't happen through intention. Change happens when you stop lying to yourself about what you want and what you're willing to pay. And then you pay the price, every day, consistently, without exception. And when you do that, when you truly do it, you stop being part of the 90% who are stuck. You join the 10% who truly evolve, who truly transform, who leave where they were and arrive where they want to be. Not because they are special, not because they are lucky, but because they stop deceiving themselves and start paying the price. If this video gave you the truth you needed to hear, even if it was harsh, leave a like. Subscribe to the channel because I bring content like this every week. No beating around the bush, no empty motivation, just practical truth that works. And comment below telling me which area of your life you're going to stop lying to yourself and start paying the real price for. You know what you need to do. You always have. The only question is whether you'll finally stop lying and do it. The choice is yours. See you next time.